Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Um, I am live today on one of the greatest shows on the planet with with my usual guest David Wood, who nowadays identifies as a woman, as is common nowadays. Just kidding. With a different person because David Wood is not available, and I'm kind of sick of having him all the time anyway. So here is Angela. Angela, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? The Jews are taking over, so we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
nixed David out, and I now control the show. Nice
that's
to meet
true.
you.
That's she's also in charge of the show, so I have to basically do whatever she says because she's Jewish. Um,
Facts.
so I just want to briefly say, so as everybody knows, the elections are going on right now, and we are doing a live coverage of the election result. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get. I thought maybe some people who are looking away and who are just listening might be confused and checking their screens now. So I'm tricking people into watching this by telling them that the election is live right now. This is how this is going to be watched lots and lots of times. Gonna get lots of views. Angela, how about we talk about you?
Sure.
Yes. Um, who are you?
So my name's Angela. I'm an investigative journalist based out of Chicago. I tend to specialize in Muslim Brotherhood organizations inside America. It's just something that I grabbed a hold of around 2020. Got some training by former FBI agents in a few classes on this, and really saw the rise of all of these organizations, not just like in your local communities, but on college campuses. So I saw that about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little bit before that, and I was really intrigued by it. So I started studying Islam. I started studying the organizations. I started studying their plans, and it kind of just took off from there. I was called, obviously, I'm an Islamophobe. I'm a racist. I hate people. I was black pilled for years. Um, After 10/7, hey, it turns out I'm right. And I've been right. And so now people are coming towards me for, discussing the networks that are around the United States, specifically, obviously, in my area of Chicago. So
But you have a connection to Laura Loomer, don't you?
I did. I worked for her for a couple years. I no longer do, but I ran around for her discussing a lot of the Muslim Brotherhood organizations. When I was blackballed, she was the only one that allowed me to report on it uncensored. Everyone else that I spoke to was like, "Oh, you do great work. Like, obviously, this is irrefutable evidence, but we can't post that. We can't say these things. It's Islamophobic, and our audience won't listen to you. So, no, thank you." And I said, "Okay."
So why did you decide to be a racist, Islamophobic bigot? Uh,
Well, again, I'm Jewish, so if anyone's a racist, Islamophobic bigot, it's definitely the Jews who are constantly being attacked by sorry, by the most peaceful religion in the world.
yeah,
Um,
I'm
so
yeah. I'm
yeah,
glad you clarified that. I'm glad you clarified that. It is the most peaceful religion in the world, as we all know. There is no Islamophobia, no racism, no hate, no bigotry, nothing, nothing of that kind is welcome here. So, if anyone says anything Islamophobic here in the chat, I will ban you. So yeah, now that we have that, I find your stuff impressive. I have been following you on Twitter, now known as X, for quite a while now, and get lots of news from you. So it's quite impressive, your journalism and everything you're picking up, especially in relation to Israel, Islamists, America, and Jews. Yeah, that's what we have. What does your shirt say?
so I don't know if you know this guy. His name is the Yuri. Very popular on TikTok. Just came over to X, and he makes these wonderful shirts. And with this one that I decided to wear says Zionist as F. Which, sorry, I'm backwards here on camera. And I got it in the America colors because, red, blue. And I wear it around town. I wear it at protests. I wear it everywhere I go. And I get a lot of comments for it. So I figured I'd wear it on tonight and hopefully we won't get banned. But
Nice. It's a very good message. YouTube will probably appreciate this. I would say that it's a little bit inconsiderate, considering that lots of terrorists might tune in and they might be kind of offended about this. So
that's okay. They're usually offended by my presence anyways. I was telling you before the show. So I don't know if you guys remember back in 2021, we had kind of like a precursor to the protests that are happening now. I would say there was the conflict in Israel-Palestine. Gaza was obviously throwing rockets into Israel, and the protests kind of started. We thought maybe a war would take off, another intifada. It didn't. So I thought it would be funny to troll all of them in the Chicagoland area. And I hired some people to do banners and fly over their heads. And what it said was, "I stand with Israel." And now, because I don't necessarily look like a typical Jew, I have a nose piercing. I have some tattoos. It was before I became more religious. And I went there and I interviewed them. And the same rhetoric that they were using 3 years ago, they're using right now. They kept telling me it's another Holocaust. They're being genocided. We're killing the babies. There's apparently all of these babies that are being killed, yet the population just keeps growing. So Israel isn't doing a good enough job, in my opinion, because the population is growing. So if we're killing babies, it doesn't make sense to me. And then they decided that they were going to find me online, dox me, shell out my address, give me death threats. I think they called my mother a few times and told her that they were going to behead me because any jihadist, wants to behead people. I'm just kidding. It is the most peaceful religion. And, they left her filthy voicemails about her being Jewish. So I went underground for a little bit and helped other people out with a bunch of research. And then October 7th happened. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get at the forefront of this again. And that's where I've been.
Well, you make it look like Muslims have a problem with Jews. I wouldn't be.
Oh, we're friends. We're all cousins.
Right.
We're all friends.
Right. Right. And I want to review a few things here. First off, in your opinion, do you so? I had a little bit of a mixed approach toward the whole election issue.
Sure.
I was, especially because of everything that is happening right now, everything that Democrats have done, everything that the Democrats have done in regards to Israel and all that, I have said for quite a while now, there is no way that I would give them my vote. I will have to, just for some single issues like that, I will have to give my vote to Donald Trump. And but then recently he did a few things that I thought kind of betray my values and my principles, and I will therefore not vote for him. I even said publicly because he put those Muslim Arab leaders on his stage and gave a whole speech on that. But then later on, as the election approached, I decided to just let it slide for now and just went out there and voted for Donald Trump. So there it is. That's what I did. But how do you think the election results, how do you think the Trump presidency, the second term, will unfold? Do you think that he will be that he will do the things that he says in terms of the things that he said before in terms of Israel and the Middle East, for example, or will he be a different guy this time? I don't know. What is your general perspective on this?
Okay, so I want to back up a little bit. I do want to talk about this Muslims for Trump campaign, and I want to talk a little bit about the Abandon Harris campaign. Okay, because they're tied. So we've been doing some research into it, and the Abandon Harris campaign on their website has an EIN tax code, right? So that's the IRS tax code. It's what they have to do because they're a 501c4, I believe, right? So they're a super PAC. We tied that to a shell organization. Okay. Under that shell organization, I tied their members to none other than CARE, Texas. Right. Then I found out that some of these abandoned Harris people all of a sudden flipped and became, guess what? Muslims for Trump. And some of them are connected to CARE in Pennsylvania.
Oh boy.
So this is not a hit against Trump, because I do believe he's going to do what needs to be done. What we know about these jihadist groups, and if I'm sure you've listened to them for years, I recently just rewatched like a 1989 ISNA conference, because that's what I do for fun. I should get out more. But they like to tell you their 10-point plan for the next 5 to 10 years, and every 5 years to 10 years they up it, and they tell you verbatim, we are going to join the Democrats, we're going to join the Republicans, and what we're going to do is we're going to push, Sharia, we're going to push Islamic rhetoric, we're going to push our agenda on both of these parties, and we're going to see where it fits, who listens to us, and we're going to try to push it. So we know that they already did that in the Democrat Party. I saw it as them trying to do it in the Republican Party, thinking that Trump was going to win and a way to garner influence.
Mm-hmm.
So now, yes, we saw Trump go up there and he needed to win Michigan. And how do you win Michigan? Yeah, you got to go to Dearborn. You got to go to all these awful places. And unfortunately, you got to use these jihadis and use their votes in order to win. So was I mad at it? Yes. Was it smart? Yes. Now that he has won, he needs to follow what he said he was going to do, kick them to the curb, and possibly deport half of them for being a part of Hamas, because as we know, CARE's Hamas.
Yeah, for those who don't know, ISNA stands for the Islamic Society of North America, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is also a Muslim Brotherhood organization, as proven.
Yeah. And it's no secret. I mean, people who know about Islam, who know about Islamic beliefs, know about Islamic radicalism, which is basically just mainstream Islam, know that it is very much at the core of Islam to push toward Islamization, always, wherever you are. Taking Islam seriously, having a serious Islamic mindset and being religious also means advocating for Islamization. It means advocating for Islam in the government, Islam around you, spreading Islam, being ruled by Islam, ruling by Islam, judging by Islam, and so on. So any influence that comes from Islamic organizations will bring Islamization. It's no joke. This is not something to really mess with. So when I convinced myself to vote for Donald Trump, I also thought, okay, you know what? It's politics. Maybe it's a temporary measure. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. Whatever. So I'll just go and vote. And I'm glad I'm glad I voted for Donald Trump, because my vote is actually what helped Donald Trump win. So you're welcome, everybody. But when we talk about what Trump said before, yes, I want to look at a few things that he said. Here's his message to Hamas, which people have shared widely today.
Really fast before you play this, I do want to say, so I looked into what Kamala, whatever, has said about Hamas on her page, right, over the last forever. She has said one thing, and she obviously equated it to the suffering of Palestinians by Israel. And Trump, for the last 13 years, has stood against Hamas and jihad and terrorism. So, go ahead.
All right.
I just think
no, it's important. It's a good thing to add.
We want our hostages back, and they better be back before I assume office, or you will be paying a very big price.
So this is one of the things he said. We want the hostages back, and we better release them, or you will be paying a very, very, very big price. We have obviously Benjamin Netanyahu's reaction to the elections. He was very happy about it. He congratulated it and called it a great victory, which I thought I had ready here somewhere, but apparently I don't because I'm very incompetent. However, let's see.
I think he was the first person to call. So I heard, you can correct me if I'm wrong later, but I think he was one of the first leaders to actually call and congratulate Trump.
Yeah,
on his win. So
that is true. That is true. And everyone, of course, thinks that Netanyahu will be very happy about the results. And it's also his last post here on his account, which says, "Dear Donald and Melania Trump, congratulations on history's greatest comeback. Your historic return to the White House offers a new beginning for America and a powerful recommitment to the great alliance between Israel and America. This is a huge victory. It's a huge victory. In true friendship, yours, Benjamin and Sarah Netanyahu." So people love this. He loved this.
oh, there's my comment.
Apparently you love this too. We're right here.
Peace.
So, and the general idea was that moving forward, if Kamala Harris was to win, it would be kind of the future of this war would not be very bright, and she would give in to the whole progressivist idea, this wokest idea of appealing to this whole narrative that there is a genocide going on and that we have to stop it. So she would push for I don't know, calming things down and looking for a two-state solution that could even include Hamas at some point. With Donald Trump, we don't really expect such a thing. So I just hope that Donald Trump sticks to his idea. He also said in a prior speech that America needs to give Israel whatever they need to crush Hamas and to finish this war and to reach their goal. So these are things that he said. It was therefore confusing to me a little bit that he then went on stage with the Muslims and said, "Oh, we will bring peace," and all that. It seems contradictory, but I wonder how much of it is politics and how much of it is just how much of it is real.
I'm going to pray and say that it's politics. I mean, I've been a Trump fan, I think, since late 2016. Listen, I was duped my entire life. I was definitely a liberal. My mom is a progressive. I'm Jewish. A lot of Jews, we are unfortunately Democrats, except for this year. But 8 years ago, I kind of woke up. I realized what Obama did. I realized what Hillary did. I realized what they were doing with Iran. I realized, obviously, Islam is the religion of peace, and George W. Bush standing next to Nihad Awad was 100% right and not concerning at all after 9/11. And, so I kind of woke up and decided that I was for Trump, and he's been saying these things his entire life. He's never changed his stance. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt in this, but I still think that we should be, vigilant in saying, like, hey, even though if we know Donald Trump may not do this, someone else in his administration, maybe someone third, fourth, fifth, whatever, now that he gave a nod, is going to be like, okay, this person, he's okay. Trump went on stage with him, so I'm going to listen to him. And I think that's what CARE is counting on. That's what these Islamists are counting on to get, and we have to be vigilant. We have to say, no, this person is bad. Here's why. Get away.
Yeah. I saw this thing earlier from JNS TV. They shared from Fox News and AP Voter Analysis. AP stands for Apostate Prophet, by the way. This is my news channel here, which they're referencing. Jews swing bigly. Of course. Trump wins highest share of Jewish votes in decades. And you can see here is a shift in Jewish voters. While you still don't have the majorities, you see a big shift toward Jews voting for Donald Trump in certain regions, in certain areas. In New York, there was a dramatic change, I believe, from the last election to this election of Jews switching and voting for Donald Trump, because of obviously what the Democrats have done and how they have handled the whole situation under their under their authority, with their approval, pretty much, um, Jew haters were going around this country and were calling for the extermination of Israelis and of Israel, and engaging in pro-terrorist propaganda and all that kind of stuff. So lots of Jews really switched and turned around. Unfortunately, a lot of secular, liberal, progressive Jews have still not gotten the memo, or they just don't care.
Listen, let me tell you something. I am going to take the win. Normally it's about 80-20 Democrat. We got it in some places almost up to 50%. That is massive. In specific towns, it was like 98% Trump. But historically, we've always had this thing in Judaism. I can bring it back to the times of like Egypt. 80% of Jews stayed in Egypt where they were slaves, and 20% followed Moses. So we have like this mentality where we just keep following the norm. So to change it so drastically, to change it, 26%, 24%, 18% is a major win for the Jewish community, and we can only move up from there. I went to, it's called the Republican Jewish Alliance. I went to their annual leader summit in Vegas this past September, and they had everyone who's everyone talking about getting out the vote, getting into the Jewish communities, and Matt Brooks did a wonderful job. This to me is a huge win. Yes, it's unfortunate that 60% of Jews are still going with the herd and thinking that they're going to be protected by these people, and they won't. But we can only move up from here. So I'm gonna take the win. It's a big win for me.
I would see this as a positive thing as well. I don't know if this is, I don't know what truth there is to this. So Visegrad just shared, breaking: Middle Eastern migrants are hunting Jews in Amsterdam tonight. Maccabi Tel Aviv is playing Ajax in Amsterdam today. The video shows them kicking an unconscious Jew on the ground while saying Kus Omak, one of the most offensive swear words in Arabic, which refers to someone's mother. I don't know. This is just happening every day now.
Well, not anymore. Trump won. So maybe they won't come to the US. Maybe we put it behind. I was always scared that we saw it in Europe when we saw the influx of the migration. And we saw it in the last 4 years, and hopefully with closed borders and
Inshallah. Dog said apostate part of the retard MAGA club. Now listen, dog. Dog 2233. Here is the thing. For the longest time now, I have not been a MAGA guy. In fact, I have often expressed that I don't like Donald Trump, that I actually feel disgusted with Donald Trump, that I would never vote for Donald Trump, and so on. These are things that I said for years now. Whenever the topic came up, I rarely ever choose to talk about it. When it does come up, I talk about it. And when I talk trash about Donald Trump, I really do talk trash about Donald Trump. I also think that there is a cult of personality at play, and so on and so forth. However, I voted for Donald Trump this election, and I am proud of it. I am very, very proud of it. Wait, where's my button?
We're proud of that.
Okay. I'm proud of it, and I would do it again, and again, because I would choose simply in such an environment not to vote for either side. However, right now that is just that would be a stupid thing to do, because there was too much at stake here. And even I bought a little bit into the idea that it might be too close. I didn't really believe it, but I thought that Kamala could actually win. So it shouldn't be left to such little protests. So I told people that I'm voting. Everyone already knew that if I vote, then I will vote for Donald Trump. I decided to vote for Donald Trump because on the one hand you have the Democrats whose largest fan base is out there, literally in the streets protesting, burning American flags, burning Israel flags, calling for the elimination and extermination of Israel, and also walking together with Islamic terrorists. On the other hand, we have Donald Trump. Say whatever you want about Donald Trump. If that guy runs against the crowd that normalizes standing with Islamic terrorism, or approving of brutal anti-Semitism, genocide against Jews and Israelis, and so on. If that guy is running against that, I don't care what the guy did. I don't care what he stands for. I don't care what he represents. None of the things that you can bring to the table are as horrible and messed up as that. If that guy runs against that kind of stuff, then I will vote for that guy.
Listen, I'll tell you, there was this clip on X and it went absolutely viral. I believe it was Wesley Hunt was describing a story of him and Trump when they were talking to the leader of Al Qaeda, okay, when we were in Afghanistan. And he's explaining, like, you're not going to harm a single American or touch their head or I will kill you, right? And the translator looks at him and he goes, no, tell him I said that. And they wouldn't. And so he goes and he pulls out of his pocket a picture, a satellite photo of this guy's house, and throws it in front of him and basically is telling him, like, I will kill you if you hurt an American, and walks out of the room. And you know what? I'm sorry. That's the kind of person we need in office, because the only way that these people respond, Iran, the IRGC, whatever, Hamas, they only respond to strength. Anything else is weakness. So
Yes.
to walk into a room and say, here's your house, touch us, I will kill you, mother effer, and walk out. That's the kind of guy I want. I don't care what he says. I don't, whatever. Sometimes I cringe. It's fine. I want the strong man in office who knows this is not what we're going to deal with and knows how to deal with them.
Exactly. And it's not even enough. I mean, we're talking about the Middle East. We're talking about the Islamists. We're talking about a culture that is so, despite anything that the average population here might know, that is just so different from America. I mean, people talk about, oh, Donald Trump is a fascist. He's gonna bring fascism. Are you freaking kidding me, man? Like, you're telling me about fascism?
We're all going to be rounded up in cars and going to the concentration camp. That's one thing I've seen on Facebook, if you still go on Facebook. So, we're all getting in line to go to the concentration camp. We're all going to the Nazi rallies. He's literally Hitler. I'm like, are we just going to minimize the Holocaust and spread lies because you don't like the guy? Like, I don't understand.
It's so dumb. I mean, last time when he first got elected, they were saying, oh no, he's going to now do all of these crazy things. He's going to turn it into a dictatorship. He will never even let go of the presidency. He will hold on to it. He will abolish elections. He will do this and this and that. It was pretty predictable. None of that actually happened. Okay, the worst thing that happened was that he contested the election results, and some people went to protest and rioted, which was contained in no time. That's the worst thing that happened. Okay, did the guy attempt to turn it into a dictatorship? No.
No, not in the slightest. And we wound up with Joe Biden for 4 years, or whoever was really running the country. They said he didn't have dementia, and then they came out and he's like, okay, he's maybe not all there. So whatever. We had 4 years of someone else. We went, we voted, he won. Looks like our elections are just fine, guys.
Yeah. It is quite fine. And on the one hand, we have Islamist paradise, and on the other hand, we have the so-called fascism of this guy making mean posts on Twitter. I would rather prefer this fascism, honestly.
President, we will deport the foreign jihad sympathizers, and we will deport them very quickly, and Hamas supporters will be gone. We will remove the jihadist sympathizers and Jew haters. We're going to remove the Jew haters who do nothing to help our country. They only want to destroy our country. And we will never let the horrors of October 7th be repeated here on American soil. We will not let that happen. Unlike liberal Kamala, I will support Israel's right to win its war on terror. You have to support that. Got to win, got to finish it off. And instead of pandering to the jihad sympathizers and America-hating radicals, we will deport them. We will deport them very quickly.
I hope this is all of this is actually done. I hope it comes to fruition. I hope he does something about this. I hope he keeps up this stance because this is what we need. There should be no sympathy. There should be no tolerance for those people, for the things that we have seen over the last year. I
I
hope he
think
does
he
it.
will. And if Trump is listening, I have a list. So let's go.
He's listening right. He's listening right now.
Listening right now, and I have a list. I have networks. Let's go. I'm ready. No, but seriously, this is like one of
Trump,
the
I know you're watching.
No, you're watching. Listen to me. I'm ready. I can speak this. No, but seriously, this is one of the reasons why I voted for him. And we know that they're here. We know that they have sleeper cells. We know that they have networks, and they can't be here. And it's not just about Israel. It's not just about Jews. Yes, they're going to go for the Jews, but they hate Christians too. They hate Christians. They hate America, Iran. The IRGC, whatever, calls it little Satan and big Satan. So if they can knock out one, they're going to knock out the other. We're just waiting in line. So we need someone that's going to say, hey, no, get out.
Yeah, exactly. Their problem is not just with the Jews. Some people have this whole illusion like, oh yeah, the Muslims, they are against the Jews because they realize that Jews are bad. They're not just about Jews. They're not just about hating Jews. Yes, they hate Jews more than they hate anybody else. However, you are next, Christians.
Well, any
You
unbeliever, really, but
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, again,
So-
most peaceful religion, they love you, take them up in arms, and let's all be brothers and sing Kumbaya. Thank you.
Yeah, Islam is the most is the least Islamophobic religion there. So
Yes.
that's good. Yeah. As you were just talking, I was thinking about.
Look at your screen. Look at Trump hating all those Jews. Look at him hating my friend Rabbi Katz in the background right there at the O-Hill for the Rebbe.
Yeah.
Look at him hating all those Jews.
Yeah, he went there with the one that he hates the most, Ben Shapiro, who is hiding here behind where we cannot see him. He's hiding. And he's here at a grave. Basically, this picture summarizes Donald Trump, who is literally Hitler, saying, I want all Jews to be in a grave just like this. So this is basically
Whatever. Jews for Hitler, I guess. Don't click that. Clearly a joke.
Yeah, he also what was that? He talked with. I mean, he was the most pro-Israel president in a long time. Maybe the most pro-Israel president in the U.S. so far.
Well, look at who we got. I mean, Biden, Obama.
Yeah.
President Obama. I voted for him twice, and I just apologized to the whole country. I was, 18 and 22 respectively on a liberal campus, and I didn't know any better. Now I do.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
Shame on you. Repent and come back. So, but there are also protests going on right now.
Correct.
Which you have reported on very much in Chicago and also I think in Pennsylvania now and some other places, of some people protesting the election results and wanting Donald Trump gone.
Which isn't that? Don't you find that funny? Because, like I said, they wanted to abandon Harris. Some of them wanted to vote for Trump. So we're not going to vote for the Democrats because they're poor genocide, and maybe we like Trump, but now we hate Trump. It's all a game, and they're all doing it on purpose. It's all the same rhetoric. Go ahead, play the clip.
You know what's the funniest thing to me though, before playing the clip, the funniest thing to me are those people who are walking around thinking, oh yeah, Kamala Harris lost because we pro-Palestine people, we protested and we taught them a lesson because they were pro-genocide. They have lost our votes, which cost them the election. People are really delusional. They actually think that they took down Kamala Harris.
Yes. Not only that, they are on the flip side. They're saying, look, all the Jews voted for Kamala. It's all they're not with this. They're not with this. We voted for Trump. They voted for Kamala. And I'm sitting here like, well, which one is it?
Here is Zara Sultana saying, turns out there's a political cost to aiding the genocide of Palestinians. Giving Israeli blank check and ignoring massive protests led to this point. Also, not being the bad guy isn't enough to beat the far right. A radical positive vision is needed and labor should take note. If anything, I would say the fact that the Democrats have so have so freely allowed the anti-America protesters to go around and to burn America flags and to spread their anti-Semitism and so on. The fact that the pro-Palestine protesters got into everyone's face and started insulting everyone, that probably really contributed to turning people away from the Democratic Party. That probably contributed to Kamala Harris losing, not the other way around. So
you know what? I kind of almost want to personally thank them because they did this in majority Democrat cities. Obviously, it's everywhere. There's a bunch in Texas, but we can talk about that later. But like New York, California, Illinois, specifically Chicago, they're in the streets. Nobody's doing anything about it. The mayors are standing down. None of the cops are doing anything about it. American citizens are literally sitting here like, we want this to stop. And obviously, we're not going to go out in the streets and cause violence because that's not what we do. So we were waiting for someone to do something and they wouldn't. So you know what? Thank you, because now we all voted the other and we'll see what happens. Hopefully
you're saying thank you to all the pro-Palestine protesters.
I am.
Basically. All right. You see.
Yeah. You cause enough chaos, you swing it in the way that I want it, and then we'll see you later or see you never.
Nice. Let's see.
Donald Trump, you will see. Donald Trump, you will see.
Wait, what will Donald Trump see?
It's Chicago. Do you think that, you know what I mean? Like, don't come to Chicago, Trump. I mean, he comes there all the time anyways, but like, don't. It's Chicago. It's a liberal city. Kamala still won. I'll see what.
We own Chicago.
Free Palestine!
These guys actually think that they're protests are meant to speak out and spread your voice and to change minds, to influence and so on. These guys actually think that they're making a good impact with this kind of stuff.
No, it's a bully campaign.
It's so dumb.
It's a bully campaign. And it's specifically in Chicago, it's mostly run by USPCN, which is United States Palestinian Community Network. I purposely mispronounce this guy's name all the time. So his name, I call him Hatem Abudaye. You could probably pronounce that correctly, but please don't, because I'll tell you the story. So he's been running these protests for over 30 years, specifically in the Midwest, but he's branched out all over the country. He works with all of our favorites, all of our favorite organizations. He ran the March on the DNC. He ran the encampments. He is now running all of these here. Everybody works with him, and he's the major guy in Chicago. So I found him on the Northwestern campus university, and I introduced myself. At the time, I was working for Laura Loomer. So I said, I'm working for Laura Loomer, and that really set him off. So he started screaming at me that like I'm a Zionist, white, racist pig. And I said, okay, that's great. Again, nice to meet you. I wanted to ask you a few questions. And I go, so in 2011, you were investigated for your links to PFLP and Hamas. Can you tell me more about that? And he just got completely irate. So this guy who started USPCN Network, he also started Arab American Action Network with Rasima O'Day. And if you don't know who that is, she's a convicted PFLP terrorist who was deported from our country in 2017. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy has links to terrorism, and he's the one who's running all of these protests in our city, just like last night, bringing everybody in, all the old school communists, all of the new age ones. He's been doing this for generations, and they're all just running amok in our streets.
And what are they trying to achieve? And will they achieve it soon?
I mean, obviously they freed Palestine 20 years ago, so I don't know at this point. But they do have a lot of influence, which is some of the stuff that I'm looking into. He recently said on film that he was friends with the mayor. Don't know if that's true. He's friends with a lot of people on the Chicago Teachers Union, on the boards, friends with politicians. Some of them use false names when they go out in public and speak, but I've found some of their real names. This might get me in trouble. They work for Chicago Housing Authority and they work for the migrant whatever organization. So I'm kind of digging into that and turning it into who I need to turn it into. But they have a lot of influence in the city. So maybe it's jihad. Maybe they're just spreading peace. Maybe they're just being great American citizens.
I would say that it looks like a peace campaign to spread the religion of peace, because that's what.
Do you have the other one from last night that I showed you? So not only were they at Trump Tower saying, you know, Trump's the worst, don't come here, we'll scream in your face. They went to a synagogue.
Yeah, I saw that one. I thought I retweeted it. I thought I had it here somewhere. Let me quickly pull that up. They actually started breaking into or trespassing and going inside a synagogue.
Right. So again, I'm so American. I'm really bad at Middle Eastern names, but Yosef Hadid came and he spoke at an event that the Chicago Jewish Alliance was holding to talk about the, you know, Israeli-Palestine conflict. And it was a ticketed event at a synagogue. So apparently these SJP people, which is Social Justice for Palestine, came. A few got into the event and they were all screaming and boycotting outside and intimidating people before they even got there. So security had to escort all of the Jews and people in attendance to get in. And they disrupted the entire event. And some of them were arrested. They did get trespassing charges, but how can we allow simultaneously people in the streets destroying property? They destroyed property within the synagogue, and then they're out in the streets talking about politics, screaming, you know, we need to ban the two-party system. We can't have this anymore. We need a third way. It's all a mess. It's all crazy. And
let's see. Let's have a look at that. So here is one of these things. A mob led by Chicago area SGP chapters is rioting outside the Chicago Loop Synagogue. Why? They're mad at Yosef Hadad. An Arab Israeli doesn't go along with their genocide and apartheid narrative. Some protesters managed to break into the synagogue. At least 2 have been arrested. Have they been charged meanwhile, by the way?
Yes. So there were a total, I heard, there were a total of 5 on the inside that got in, and 2 of them were arrested for trespass. And then I think another one, I can look it up. I think another one was like destruction of property or something. Let's see. Criminal trespass and a misdemeanor count for criminal damage to property.
Oh, good. At least they're doing something, it seems.
Something. I mean, but this is a normal occurrence with USPCN. He goes around, he'll intimidate every single Jewish event that we have in the city. He did it to Michael Rappaport, whether you like him or not. He's a Jew, and he's tried to come here 3 times. They canceled him. They canceled Modest Yahoo. The reason why I know about them is because they canceled one of my rallies, and that was the worst thing he could have ever done, because then he got on my radar. Now I know everything about them. Don't ever get on my radar. And then he went to I don't know if you remember last year, there was a rally in Skokie, and a bunch of violence occurred. 40 Palestinians went and they ripped off the flag of a Jewish man's car who was trying to attend this event. And so he got out of the car and he goes to get his flag back. 40 of them come running. He had his concealed carry. He got out his gun. He shot it up in the air so that everyone would get away, because they're trying to beat him up. And he was arrested, and they tried to say that, you know, a Jew was shooting at them. So these are the type of, I mean, this is what's happened so far. And it's only going to get worse. But yeah, that's some video of the man getting arrested. I can look up his name, and then what happened on the inside. Adam L. Kalani.
Okay. I see people talking about what's happening in Amsterdam right now as we speak. So we have multiple sources reporting that there are mobs in Amsterdam attacking Jews.
Are you shocked by this?
I'm not shocked at all.
Me neither.
But I mean, I've been to Amsterdam, and the only thing that surprises me is that it would take so long, honestly.
But see, these are the kinds of things that I was terrified of happening here.
Let's see what Naftali Bennett said about this.
Very moment in At this very moment in Amsterdam, Jews are being attacked at multiple locations with brutal force. It's a pogrom in action. I call upon the Dutch authorities, the Amsterdam authorities, to act immediately to prevent further injury and to prevent the loss of lives.
That's what he says. So I don't know. I'm not sure about the scale of this, of what is happening here at this moment. But I must say that for these scumbags to do this right now in the Netherlands is probably a very, very bad choice, because we have Geert Wilders, we have his government, we have his effort, and he is waiting for an opportunity to kick people out, to put them away for the danger that they pose to Western people, to Jews, to Christians, to others, and so on. And I hope that this will trigger something, and I hope that lots of people here will be locked up and deported. I sincerely hope that lots of people will be deported. This is very, very, very much needed. Very much needed.
Stay!
It's just, it's just so cowardly. There's 10, 15 of them in one guy.
That's the culture. That's what they always do.
One guy. So really fast, I want to go back to the story of when I was on the campus. So as I'm confronting this guy, his co-chair comes up to me and screams at me, "You didn't pronounce his name right. You didn't pronounce his name right. Pronounce it right." And this is why I never do. Grabs me by the collar, okay? Like, I'm all 5'6", I'm a woman. Grabs me by the collar, grabs my phone and chucks it and won't release me. So I looked him straight in his face, straight in his eyes, okay? And I grabbed him and I shoved him to the ground. And I was like, "You need to get away from me right now." And I could see that he was scared. And I ran and I got my phone and I went back to filming and doing what I was doing. But that's why they go in groups, because if it's just one-on-one,
yeah,
they're nothing. They're absolutely nothing. It's the mob mentality.
They rely on that. They very, very much rely on that. It's an element of intimidation, an element of terror. Very, very
right. So,
fitting.
Again, 5'6" woman. Just don't be afraid of them. I'm not saying be violent. Don't get violent. Obviously, I did it in self-defense. But don't take their crap.
Yeah. So the reports are that there's a match today that took place between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Ajax in Amsterdam, and after that, lots of what appears to be, what is reported to be Arabic-speaking people started going around and attacking Israeli fans and beating them up, beating up Jews.
You mean Western Asian men?
Oh yeah, Western Asian men, of course. Yes, Western Asian men. We don't know what they identify as, though. Have started attacking Zionists. Pretty much. I'm going to wait for more on this, on what is happening here, but following it closely. Would also urge everyone else to follow closely and let me know if there's any updates, people in the chat. But disgusting things happening, and this is what Seriously, so many of us and so many others before us have repeatedly pointed out that importing large parts of populations into your country with the excuse that you need labor forces, you need a population, you need a younger population, and so on, and then going for those demographics, importing those people and letting them do whatever they want, letting them preach whatever the hell they want in your country would have severe consequences in the future on your own people and on others, especially Jewish people
Listen, I'm
who
going to
are
get called.
part of these communities.
I'm going to get called racist again here, but not all ideologies are created equal, right? So if we have a clash of ideologies, and one ideology is telling you, I'm better than you, I must defeat you, you cannot exist, I'm going to believe them and then not want to live next to them, whether it be communism, Islam, whatever it is. If you're telling me that you supersede the way I want to live, and if I don't follow you, you're going to kill me, I might not want to live next to you.
That was possibly the most Islamophobic thing I've heard in my life.
Thing I've ever said, but
Yeah.
I'm only listening to what people tell me, and I'm gonna believe them at face value. So
That's pretty racist. Let's have a look at
when Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, what do? We kill them all? No. The Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation. In return, when enemy comes and attack your country, you don't fight. We Muslims protect you. Subhanallah, for this little money? Yes. And you enjoy sitting in your homes and in your country and live your life normally. But the ruling is for Sharia. So you do not open nightclubs, you do not fornicate. If they refuse, then we have to fight.
Makes sense.
just be a Tahimi, pay the jizya, it'll be fine.
It makes complete sense. Yeah.
It makes complete sense. We will protect you. You have to cover your hair. You have to follow our rules. Maybe you'll have to have a male escort follow you everywhere. Who knows? But it'll be okay because we're protecting you and you're paying us money to follow our law.
Yes, think about it. This is how it goes with with gangs and with the mafia. It's basic logic. If you are going to live in a certain neighborhood, if you're going to run a shop and win your bread there, then you have to pay protection money. You have to pay protection money to the mob, to the gangs. As long as you just pay the protection money, you can operate your stuff. You can run your business. But if you don't, then
but you can't have clubs and you can't fornicate. He said it.
Yeah, that's
true.
Said it. That's
so,
true. So
you can't live completely normally. It has to be under Sharia.
Islam is basically like a criminal gang, and that's okay. See,
fine.
And if we fight you, then we capture you. You become our slaves, and we take your land, and you take because you refuse. I give you two good options in the coming 40, 50 years when the Muslims become strong, as they're supposed to.
I find it funny that he says, we give you two good options. So what's the problem?
What's the problem? You just be our slaves. Be our slave. He didn't say what kind of slave.
Oh, yeah. Well, you would be a sex slave, whereas somebody else would be just a regular slave. So
I don't know. I mean, I know they don't like homosexuality, but I'm telling you.
Well, I would be killed directly anyway because I'm an ex-Muslim.
But if you were a little bit younger.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We can talk about it. So why would you, a Jewish person, have a problem with this?
حتى يقاتل المسلمون اليهود
فيقتلهم المسلمون فيجري اليهودي فيختبئ وراء الشجر والحجر حتى يقول الشجر والحجر
يا مسلم يا عبد الله هذا يهودي ورائي فتعال فاقتل
إلا الغرقد فإنه من شجر اليهود.
اليهود الآن يزرعون هذا الشجر الآن بكثرة في فلسطين لأنهم يوقنون بذلك. انفجار الغرقد.
ولو دخل أي واحد منكم ونظر إلى هذه المغتصبات إن تيسر له ذلك عبر جوجل إيرث أو غير ذلك من البرامج لاستطاع أن يرى هذه الشجرة ظاهرة تحيط بكل مكان عندهم.
سنقاتلهم وسنهزمهم وسنستأصل شأفتهم فلا يعود على ظهر الأرض يهودي واحد.
Not a single Jew will. It's so funny. They talk like this, and then as soon as you fight them, they start losing and dying and then crying for help.
Oh, it's fine. They're all winning, and they've already won. And you know, obviously, I need to invite them over for Shabbat because, listen, I'm just gonna say I'm so tired of my fellow Jews. Like, I love them, I get it, but I'm so tired of them saying, listen, if we just educate them, if we just bring them in, if we just give them jobs, if we just be nice to them and become their friends, they're gonna be our friends and we're all gonna like live together and it's gonna be great. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Well, you know what's messed up to me? I understand that some people in the West, I understand that Western people have this completely naive perspective. I understand that certain, Jewish people in the West think naively like this. However, what amazes me so much, what amazes me so much is that there are those in Israel who still, after October 7th, still advocate for. They are a minority nowadays, but they are very much in the parliament, in the Knesset. They still advocate for I don't know, a good mutual understanding, a peaceful solution. If we just figure out what the other side wants, if we just make some compromise, if we just work toward things, maybe we'll find peace together, and then we can give them the land, and we can give them the West Bank, the Judea and Samaria, and Gaza, and there could be a nice independent Palestinian state, and everything will be cool, everything will be fine. No.
No, it explicitly states in their charter what they want. They want the Jews dead and they want all of Israel. Okay. And it's backed by the Quran, which again, I'm Islamophobic and racist. It's the religion of peace. But they say all of these things. They tell you exactly what they want. And then you sit there and you're like, oh, well, we can make friends with them. We can do this. You cannot. They're not going to change. But whatever.
This here sounds very racist. Sephardic Jews know the Arabs. They are more based. Sounds very, very racist. However, there is truth to this. Yes. Even in Israel, you will see that among Ashkenazi Jews, people tend to be much more like, oh, yeah, there must be a diplomatic solution to this. Whereas the Sephardic and Mizrahi Jews are much more opposed to it and say there is no other solution.
Well, I think, Ashkenazi Jews, it's not that we had it like so much better. We had it differently. You know what I'm saying? Where we lived, we had a different type of anti-Semitism, and where they come from, they were like right there in the face, in the forefront of all of this. So they can tell you exactly how, these people are and what they believe versus us. I mean, in Europe and in America, we had a golden age. So the anti-Semitism was different. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they are more based because they were there. They know. We didn't see this. We weren't confronted with this. However, all of those emails that you played from different countries, they have that now. Well, they've had it for years, but more so recently inside America, in places like Dearborn, that's exactly what they're preaching.
Yeah. This is inside the synagogue, right?
Correct.
This guy is inside the synagogue. This is an Orthodox synagogue. I think this is a Loop synagogue in Chicago. Inside this synagogue screaming Free Palestine.
Let me tell you how I heard about what was going on. So I was supposed to be at this event, and for some reason I didn't go. And, Baruch Hashem, I didn't, because I don't know if I would be able to keep my cool underneath all of this. But a report was going out because there's this guy who listens to the police scanners, and the police scanners were coming through, and they're like, oh, K9's coming. They're getting the bomb squad. People are sweeping the synagogue, something's going on. So I messaged my friends and I was like, hey, is this the synagogue that you're at? So I had to get the story out really fast because everyone thought it was a terrorist thing like we had last week in West Rogers Park with the illegal alien who came in and shot a Jew and shot at the paramedics. So fortunately, it was just a bunch of young kids who were disrupting and screaming, free Palestine, and it wasn't violent, but they were still trespassing and coming in and trying to intimidate Jews. But the story was getting much worse online, and I did have to put a stop to that.
Oh, yeah. But you see this guy. Yeah, this is Yosef Haddad. Some people pointed out. Yosef Haddad was there for an event, right? He was there to speak for Israel. And Yosef Haddad happens to be an Israeli Arab guy. And you have these guys coming here and protesting against the Israeli Arab guy who is supporting Israel.
Well, he's a traitor, apparently. So
yeah, he likes to trade. This reminds me of when I spoke to Dr. Einat Wolf. She said that that she had a conversation with a listener when she went to speak somewhere, and the listener came up to her and said, "The pro-Palestine crowds, they have catchy slogans. They have the things that they shout, which people pick up and shout. What we Jews, all we have is just, Am Yisrael Chai and this and that and our vigils and all that. So maybe we should have a slogan too. And I have an idea, and the slogan would be "Leave us alone."
That might be catchy, but unfortunately, people have been saying that for years, and we like to say what we know. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Bye bye terrorists. Bye bye terrorists.
Thanks for the $45.
Wait, what? $45? What is this about?
I had to explain that as well. In the other video, you'll hear him screaming, "I paid for a ticket. I paid for a ticket." Blah blah blah. The tickets were $45 to get in. So as we're walking out, after him screaming, "I paid for a ticket," she goes, "Thanks for the $45."
Nice.
Terrorist supporter. I'm gonna make you famous. Terrorist! 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 Don't trespass. I'm gonna make you famous. Terrorist! Free Palestine from Hamas, you terrorist! Terrorist! That's who you are. I have nothing, man. I have nothing, dude. Please, I have nothing.
He says, "Please, I have nothing." Now he starts begging. That's funny. That is very, very funny. Go into it. Seriously, how would people react if people started going into mosques and shouting things like this?
Exactly. And you know what? I'm kind of proud of the Chicago Jewish community because I've never really seen them react in this way. Like, some of them are a little scared. Some, they're not used to dealing with all of this. They live normal lives. I've always been the one that's in the forefront attacking them, and they think I'm the one screaming it's the end of days. Unfortunately, now, we're kind of here. But I'm very proud of them for standing up and making sure that these people are out and saying, like, we're not going to put up with this and screaming "Am Israel Kai" in their faces, because that's kind of what you need to do. You need to show that you don't have fear of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here we have Yosef Haddad reporting directly.
They have a simple problem. They cannot handle the truth.
Wait, is that a poster of him?
Correct.
With "Wanted"?
Yep.
These people are so ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Welcome to Chicago. It's a fun place.
Oh, man.
Bunch of cowards, that's what you are. We will never, ever be scared of those terror supporters. No one will silence me. No one will scare me. I'll go to Chicago. I'll go to every centimeter of the United States if it needed the whole world. Take the mask off, you coward!
I'm happy that he gets the action that he needs. You know, it's good.
Listen,
It's funny that he's just there smiling at them.
I absolutely love it. See, I'm so racist, right? I love an Arab and I love him doing this, but I don't like the other side because
Yeah.
I'm racist.
Well, you're racist against those who are terrorists.
You know, I like good people.
Yeah. I saw this video from Visegrad, which I'm not going to review the whole thing, but Visegrad always quite good, always very good. I'm always in touch with the founder and the people of Visegrad. Would always recommend checking them out. They do very, very good stuff. I was also with them in Israel. They went around asking people how they feel about the election results in Israel.
How do you feel about Trump being elected?
Actually, we are very happy.
Yeah, I think it will help the war because Trump is helping the Jews. And
You see, Trump is helping the Jews.
Hitler.
I think he's a lot better than Kamala.
If you're a lefty, we're sorry for you. If you're a righty, we're happy for you. What do you think about Trump being elected president?
If it's good for Israel, it's good for us too.
And do you think it's good for Israel?
Yes.
Do you think he'll bring peace?
Inshallah.
Racist.
Inshallah.
Protected. Thank God we got Baruch Hashem. We got Trump. Trump, our
Thank
47th president, baby.
He supports Israel, so if he supports Israel, I support him. If he can bring the hostages back, that's all I need. Let us win the war. That's enough.
Trump, good Trump, very good Trump,
How do you feel about Trump being elected?
very good Trump.
Why?
English no very good me.
Good for Israel?
Very good Israel Trump.
Good for America?
For America, 50-50.
Yes, he's the best. Trump is my love. I love Trump.
How do you feel about him?
She said, "My love."
I feel good. Nobody better than Trump.
He's a moron. I don't understand Americans. Sorry.
What are you doing here?
He's clearly an American Jew. No, I'm just kidding.
He is. This is what's his name?
I don't know.
I always forget his name, man. His name is Corey Gill Schuster. He is the guy who makes videos walking in the streets of Israel and asking people questions.
Okay.
And mostly it's like it's pretty good stuff. I don't know why he's
The guy that
I know
doesn't
he's
like,
gonna be
what?
the guy that doesn't like Trump, or the guy that's interviewing the guy that doesn't like Trump.
Oh, the guy, this guy here.
This guy. Okay. You know what? I'll still watch it anyways, even if whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, he does good stuff, but still.
for Israel, but he's really dumb.
In what way will he be good for Israel?
I think the right wing here can get away with more. Not that I'm happy about that, but that's what's going to happen. But he could turn on Israel at any point. He's only dedicated to himself.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh my God. It's gonna be so bad for Israel.
So bad. Tell us. We want to know why.
You will find out.
Someone said
She doesn't want her to talk.
have to change the whole condition in the Middle East. Maybe will help us to finish with the Iranian and all those Arabs.
Do you think he'll bring peace to the Middle East?
I don't believe in peace.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, that's based.
You've been to Israel. You know how Israelis are.
Yes.
It is totally based.
Yes, I know how they are, and this is just
No PC culture in Israel whatsoever. Like, you'll walk down the street and they'll tell you whatever's on their mind.
Yeah. I liked that attitude about them, that they will just tell you whatever they think, whatever is on their mind, and they happen to be very loud, even when talking to each other in the nicest ways.
Yep.
When Israelis talk nicely to each other, it sounds like they're fighting.
Kind of like the Germans.
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
Kind of.
Except Germans have the lack of energy, so
No, I always feel like they're screaming at you.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
This was so iconic.
Yeah.
And all those
Do you,
Arabs.
do you think he'll bring peace to the Middle East?
I don't believe in peace.
Thank you.
It's so good that they actually filmed him walking away with the with the ref. It's so good.
The other
Wow.
side's gonna clip it and be like, "Oh my God, the IDF! Look at them! They don't believe in peace. They just genocide."
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes it is naive to hope for peace in a place where peace is simply not possible, where the other side doesn't want peace,
Listen,
where you can't make peace.
I still want peace. I just know it's not going to be with Hamas, and I know it's not going to be with the IRGC. Like I know that those people and that ideology cannot be there. It's going to be peace between me and someone else.
Yeah. That is indeed true. And even beyond Hamas,
Right.
we're talking as often we are talking about this whole thing as if there is one side is Hamas, they're the terrorists, but there are still the other ones, still the ones that you can reason with and make peace with.
No.
The other side are the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, is very much also a jihadist society. Okay, it's not ruled by a jihadist organization. It is ruled by a semi-secular organization, but only secular in comparison to Hamas, not
Correct.
secular by Western standards at all. They, the Palestinian Authority, the PLO, the Fatah,
Moderates.
yeah, they.
Well, I don't know what's happened, but moderates
Do you have a Mac? Do you have an Apple?
do.
Yeah, apparently there's a feature now where if you do this, or if you do some things, it
Yeah.
will. How about you put a thumbs up here?
Sometimes it does the little thing. What is it?
Yeah, if David was
Sometimes
here now, he
it's
would be. If David was here, we would have a complete boomer moment. He would be obsessed with this now. As I was saying, so the West Bank is ruled by Fatah, and they also make efforts to teach people still about how in the future they will fight and kill the Jews and so on. It's just it's very difficult to understand and to admit, but there doesn't seem to be proper peace possible with those people.
No. I mean, isn't it in the Middle East, like the top 3 books are obviously the Quran, and then you have the Elders of the Protocols of Zion, and then you have Mein Kampf. So you tell me.
Mein Kampf is very, very popular, but only just because they want to learn about it. That's.
I actually do own it. Not because I believe in Hitler, but because I want to understand the ideology and how to combat it. But most people are not reading it for that reason.
Yeah, I read it as well, and it's an incredibly stupid book.
Of course.
It's an incredibly idiotic book. A guy with severe mental issues rambling about things, most of which is just complete nonsense.
So Nick Fuentes?
Sorry, what?
So Nick Fuentes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Not saying he's Hitler, just that he's an idiot who rambles.
He's Lil Hitler.
Yeah.
Lil Hitler.
Well, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, it's the same thing. Apparently, Russian propaganda, but apparently we run around and secretly meet with each other so that we can take over the world and we control everything. Just stop.
It's so funny. The Protocols of the Elders of Zion is actually. I want to get into some time exploring the history of how that actually came into existence. It wasn't. It was initially kind of set up as a hoax or a parody or something like that, and then developed into a serious attempt to make it look as if it was true, and then shaping it and turning it into a major propaganda piece, which we know by now is clearly a forgery. It's clearly a fake. It is one of the most obvious forgeries we have had in recent history. But you still have people going around saying, "Oh, you haven't read the Protocol of the Elders of Zion. It teaches you everything you need to know about Jews. How they secretly gather and try to control the whole world." It's so ridiculous. People are idiots.
when they tell me that for a while, because I do. I'm a very serious investigative journalist. I actually am, but I like to troll. So for a while they would come at me and they would say that. So my little bio line said, I am the leader of the leaders of the Elders of Zion. And I would just tell everyone that I was the one in control and that they need to bow down to me.
That's funny. That's funny. That's good. I found this very funny. Jane Gorger said, "If you think Trump is going to win easy tomorrow because everyone you know on X is on his side, you've got a rude awakening coming to you tomorrow. The real world ain't X." This was his prediction.
I saw him. at the DNC at a Poly Market event. He was there with his little nephew. What's his name? It's Hasabi Hassan. What's his name?
Hassan Piker. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were there with a whole bunch of other people, and I was told to be nice and keep my mouth shut. And I still kind of regret that. But, he looks exactly how you think he does in real life.
I have a possible discussion in the works with him at some time being planned. I will have further information on that once there is more to be known about it. He's going to humiliate me. He's going to destroy me. Absolutely. It's going to be bad. Mojab Search History said, "Why you always late? You're hiding, boy." I'm not hiding. You're hiding.
You're hiding, boy. You're hiding.
Apple Baker, Al Puff Daddy, AP, and David Wood. See, they're calling you David Wood now. Your reactions to Jimmy Kimmel crying.
I didn't see that.
Did you? Did you not?
I
don't know. I don't pay attention to clowns on American TV.
Well, it was going viral all over the internet, and I was finding it a little bit amusing. Libs of TikTok was playing all of the meltdowns of people. It's just an election, guys. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It'll be okay. But I mean, these people, they're screaming, they're throwing tantrums. They're like, this is the end of the world. It's bad.
No! What's amazing to me is that they actually sit there and record themselves. And they're like, okay, I'm going to upload this. This is very good.
One guy was, I think, recording his wife or his girlfriend, and she's throwing a tantrum down the hall, slamming herself in the walls and like screaming, "I can't believe this is happening." And she's crawling on the floor. And he goes, "I'm recording you because I think the cops are going to come and they're not going to believe me." Because she's going to have bruises all over. She's literally slamming her head into this wall, going into this door frame, screaming, "Oh my God, Trump won. We're all this." And I'm like, what is going on? That's one of them. That's one of the best ones.
This is the best.
I'm sorry. No! Why? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
Oh man, I mean, seriously.
Listen, I don't know. When Biden won, I was not happy. I knew I was in for it for the next 4 years, and I sat down and I said, he's going to make some horrible decisions that are going to affect my community that I don't agree with. And I go, so I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to get to work. I didn't sit there and scream and record myself and cry and bang my head against walls. Like, this is childish behavior, and our society needs help.
Well, that was your mistake. You should have made a video in which you were crying and screaming
I guess.
and all that. So that's how you really handle election results.
I guess.
What is this?
I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done. If you voted for Trump, I think you're a fucking loser. I think you're stupid. I think you're a moron. I think you're evil. I think that you deserve to die by my hands. More specifically, by the rake that's in my hand that I'm using as a bludgeon on your fucking skull. You fucking loser. I'm better than you. You're a horrible person. You don't deserve air.
Is she a jihadist?
I mean,
this is the kind of behavior, and I just, what is going?
This is so ridiculously stupid.
Imagine saying this about your neighbor because they didn't vote the same way you did.
And then thinking that the other side are the ones that that wish you harm and that want to harm you. It's so ridiculous.
I'm fucking feral today. Feral! If you see me, keep walking.
Okay, this has to be a joke, right?
Do not make eye contact. Do not square up at me. Don't act like you know me. For Kamala, take a bite out of the...
This has to be a joke. I don't believe that somebody seriously does this. What is this?
For NATO, let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people.
For free speech.
Yeah. Do you remember
For free speech.
Do you remember like it was the Ministry of Truth or the Ministry of something that they tried to do during COVID so that they could block different speeches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
But free speech.
Free speech. You have to be kidding. You have to be kidding.
Yeah. I think anything goes on X.
Yeah.
There's some things I don't even like that are on there, but I'm like, free speech is free speech.
Yeah. For seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
I know. You said the same thing 8 years ago. So
Whatever. I mean, women's rights apparently those are gone. So I'm gonna line up and I don't know, go. There was a video, and they're telling women to go out and buy Plan B and birth control in mass, and how to do it, because apparently we're going to get rid of your Plan B.
Well, you know what the funny thing was? Donald Trump's campaign website during the election was not very much actually the statements of what he's advocating for, but it was very much support Donald Trump and so on, and a few things of how Donald Trump will make America great. Kamala Harris's campaign website was, we're going to do this and this and this and this, Donald Trump Project 2025. We're going to do this and this and this. Donald Trump is bad. We're going to do this, Donald Trump Project 2025. It was all just about the focus was Donald Trump is going to take away your rights. He's going to ban abortion in all cases worldwide, and he's going to turn this country into a dictatorship. He will abolish elections, and so on. And it's just ridiculous lies.
It was one of the most poorly run campaigns I've seen since I've been paying attention, right? Because I'm only 34. So it was one of the most poorly run campaigns because you're not focusing on yourself. You're not focusing on your policies. You're focusing on the other guy. That may have worked in 2020. It obviously didn't work this time because a lot of us were tired of it. And, you know, if I was running a campaign and there was this whole big Diddy case going on and people kept talking about it and they're like, this person's connected, and nobody knows what's really going on, I may not have the people that are connected to this case standing next to me.
Oh yeah.
There were smarter ways to run this. She only had 100 days. She failed and she lost. So 4 years from now, try better.
I thought that the Cardi B thing was good. The fact that they put Cardi B up there almost made me want to vote for Kamala Harris.
It was J-Lo for me. It was Megan Thee Stallion going up there and shaking her.
Trump says he's going to protect women whether they like it or not. Well, if his definition of protection is not the freedom of choice,
it's just so ridiculous, man. This is what they ran with. One thing that was missing was Cardi B with Megan going up there and rapping wet as P word. So
who was the one rapper who went up there and every other word had to be bleeped out? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, I saw it. There was this one song and she raps and apparently it's very popular. I don't listen to new age rap. I like old school rap. But she had to go up there and every other word was bleeped out. And in my head, I'm thinking, this is a presidential election. Like, you have to have some decorum. You have to speak a certain way. You can't just go up there and have someone shaking their booty and swearing and doing whatever and thinking that the entire country is going to vote for you.
Yeah. Does anybody know who that was? Who was that?
I remember who it was.
Who was that? Who was that? I want to find out. I want to listen to it to educate myself.
It was very bad. Listen, there's a time and a place for these things. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
And listen, it's not a knock on her rapping. I'm just saying, like,
probably it should be though.
Well, whatever. It's each their own. But when you're at a certain event, you just have to act a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah. Sheikh Mike Wingling say, I'm conflicted. On one side, I got lots of jizya from Polymarket and Kufr Mala lost. But on the other, Zion Dawn won and will turn Gaza into a haram casino. Good luck to you. That one Jewish girl, AP, if you like the show Caliphate, watch Lila M. What is Lila? I think somebody told me that before. Lila M. I will check it out. Lila M is a Dutch show.
Oh.
Huh, we'll check that out. Interesting. Speaking of, I wonder what's happening in Amsterdam. Are there any updates?
I know I'm like itching because I don't have my phone and I'm on my computer and I'm usually like sitting here like, okay, this is going on and I can tell you. Here I am.
If you need to get back to your stuff.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's a nice break. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I just want to go through these super chats and then. Jeremy Mott, have you heard about the fatwa on Trump? I haven't heard of the fatwa. Is there a fatwa on him? If so, then that's pretty good. It should be on all of us. Crafted Gargot, Angela, please tell AP to do his best show. Oh, I forgot the shofar.
I saw that last week. So I know that you wanted to have me on, but I was doing that whole West Rogers Park story. But I was listening in. I had my little YouTube or whatever on the side as I was driving home, and I heard you blowing the show.
It was terrible. I know. Don't say anything.
You'll get better.
I'm trying my best. All right, let's see. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I apologize.
It's okay. You'll get better.
Apple Baker, Angela, reaction to Trump's victory in Israel. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? They did a poll, and 70% of Israelis and 30 were for Trump, and 30 were against. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most people in Israel are happy with it, so that's
right.
that. Black Angel said AP is a horrible blower. Black Angel, always Black Angel. Goat Hub, David, I must say you make a pretty woman. Yeah. Divine Mercy, Run One. Why isn't this woman using a whiteboard? Do you know about the whiteboard? You probably don't know about that.
No, I don't, but I can walk into my other room. I have one.
Don't get a whiteboard. Don't get a whiteboard, but I will just show you what
Is
we're
it like
talking
that
about.
meme, like the crazy conspiracy one?
No. It's even worse. It's worse. It's worse.
Great.
It's much worse. Much worse. Here, let's have a look at this. So here, David shared this and said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you know this?
Yeah, but play it.
Yeah.
Alaikum. On my right. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you well, inshallah. She's not going to be in the video, but she's going to have her say with this whiteboard that I bought her. But why is the default that the woman is innocent and the man is always guilty? Okay, there's something my wife wants to say.
There's something my wife wants to say.
Salama probably had enough as women give a lot of chances, has zero tolerance now. Okay, this is why I want you here. Yeah, it's very important for you to be here. Yes, just to take the past traumas of their father or ex-husband, etc., and project it on other people. So, okay, she's saying she made the video, not him. I don't know his opinion. Well, exactly. There you go. Okay, there's nothing else I have to say. Anything you'd like to say? If you do, just let me know, inshallah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, told us he went to the hellfire. Again, I know you guys are going to be like, oh, it's a reality check. Okay. And he saw a majority of the women of the hellfire. Why? He said, not because they are ungrateful to Allah, because they are ungrateful to their husbands. Anything that I said wrong is from shaitan and myself. Anything good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there's anything you disagree on, no. Okay. Are you under any duress? You can blink twice. No. Okay, that's
Blink twice.
He probably didn't really think it through when he said this, but is that's like such a mockery here.
Listen, Islam is feminism, as they'd always tell me.
Yes, it is.
It's feminism, it's freedom, and it is a choice.
Absolutely. She's even wearing gloves so that her hands can't be seen.
That's like full burqa niqab, whatever.
Yeah.
It's full.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it could also be just a show. I mean,
Yeah.
he is saying that this is his wife, and it is thought that this is his wife. However, to this day, we have not established whether it is actually his wife, or maybe it's a guy there. Maybe it's a goat. I don't know.
I don't think it's a goat. It's a move. Maybe he wishes it's a goat, but I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
You're probably right about that.
okay, that's fine. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from myself and my dear wife. May Allah bless you for your contributions. It's a pleasure and a honor.
Totally. Yeah.
The only reason he's touching her is because it's his wife.
Yeah. Yes. Otherwise, he would not.
However, that's a public display of affection.
Yeah, he should be executed. Yeah.
Not my rules.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. In lots of Muslim countries, it is indeed illegal to publicly touch your spouse, your loved one, to hug them, to kiss them, or to do anything, to hold hands unnecessarily, and so on. You can get in trouble for that. You can be arrested and pay fines or worse, including in Saudi Arabia and many other countries. I know lots of people say, you know what, there are some countries that are making peace with us, and we should be cool with them, including Saudi Arabia and this and that. I usually don't believe in it. I usually think, screw all of them.
Don't they practice Wahhabism?
Yeah. I mean, the whole
Brutal.
Yeah.
Forms.
Well, I am told, especially in the whole the Israel circle, the pro-Israel circle, because Saudi Arabia made concessions and started normalizing relations with Israel, and like some other nations, like the United Arab Emirates, for example, that there is hope. They're not that bad. I mean, they have. It's possible to make peace with them. They're moderate and this and that. Let's not even talk about the fact that the vast majority of the population is extremely anti-Israel and anti-Jewish. Only the royal family is seeking for better ties for their own benefit.
So let's get me in more trouble tonight. Pronounce the treaty for me. It's like the Treaty of
Hudaybiyah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it when they're weak? They make concessions. They make peace for 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Once they get strong, they're obligated to break said peace.
Yeah. Once they get stronger, they
It's
break
an
it.
obligation. Yes.
That's how it basically happened. They broke it to then go and conquer and fight.
Okay. Just pointing that out. An obligation.
We're not saying anything.
Islam, not no.
Abu Bakr, will new Trump admin be tough on Muslim Brotherhood? Yes or no? What do you think?
I hope so.
Inshallah.
I hope so. I think he's made promises, right? So he said, like, listen, like anything that's happening on college campuses, which is the Muslim Brotherhood de facto because all of those organizations are connected. He said, any of the jihadists that hate Jews, the Muslim Brotherhood. So he's been saying all of these things. I hope so. I hope someone puts me personally in a room and just locks me in there for days on end with a bunch of information, and I can just point them out to you, and then we can get rid of them. That's my dream job. So I hope so. I would hope that's the plan. They're all well known. The FBI knows who they are. We've had one major financial terrorism trial in the United States. I think it's time for a second one. So we know what to do. He says he may go after the FBI, or maybe that was a rumor. And I think we should make the FBI great again, and they should do their job, and we should start going after these bad actors.
Oh, yeah. I hope it all goes well, and I hope that he helps Israel, and I hope he kicks out all these terrorist sympathizers. That'll be fun. Big hairy. My favorite preacher is Sheikh Mahik. Nope. Abu Bakr, why are white liberals supportive of Hamas? Brainwashed? Yes. And I also heard of this thing recently.
But the people are retarded.
That's why. Sankey said Trump won Dearborn but lost Hamtramck. Seems like Muslims voted for wacko Jill Stein instead.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that earlier. They were working like a 3-prong campaign anyways. Some for Kamala, some against Kamala, some pro-Trump, Jill Stein. Who knows what they were really doing? But yeah, he did. And there is, and I hate to say it, there is an organic movement of Muslims. I mean, I would feel like conservatism would align a little bit more just because, for whatever reason. So there is a natural organic movement. However, it is being run by bad actors.
Yeah, I would say that conservative people, Christian people, or others should not fool themselves.
Correct.
Should not be fooled into thinking that they have something in common with the Islamic traditionalists or conservatives. Their conservatism and your conservatism is not the same thing. Their traditions and your traditions are not the same thing. Their traditions are contrary to your traditions. You say family values, and you mean family as in a man and a woman and kids. What they mean by family values is not that.
We need 5 wives. Yeah, that's why I was like, I was hesitating because.
Yeah. their values don't agree with your values, and if they have the power, they would like to get rid of your values and replace your values with their own values. They are not your allies. In fact, there's the Quran itself that says that they're not your allies.
Well, they can't even be friends with you. So they can lie to you about being friends with you, but they're not allowed to really be friends with you.
Yes, alhamdulillah. It says in Quran chapter 5 verse 51, "O you who have believed, do not take the Jews and the Christians as allies. They are in fact allies of one another, and whoever is an ally to them among you, then indeed he is one of them. Indeed Allah guides not the wrongdoing people." So who are allies? The Jews and Christians. They are allies or friends of one another. And you, Muslims, are not allowed to befriend or ally the Jews or the Christians. This is what the Quran says.
But there's a stipulation. It's called taqiyya, and if it furthers Islam, they can pretend to be your friend.
Whatever helps Islam grow.
Which
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go back. This, whatever helps you grow, right? So, like I said in the beginning, ISNA did a whole conference, and they basically told us their plans and what they were going to do politically from the local level all the way up. And they said, we're going to be in your Democrat Party, and we're going to be in your Republican Party. We're going to be everywhere, and we're going to be pushing our agenda. And yes, the Democrats fell for it a lot faster, obviously, but that doesn't mean that they gave up on the other side, because if they can get us fighting each other, that's better, right? Just like the communists. If they can get us fighting each other and not lift a finger, better for them. Not to say they won't commit jihad, but makes it a little bit easier when they take over, right?
Yeah.
So it's the ones that you don't notice I worry about.
And we hope they take over very soon. That'll be funny. I feel kind of bad for Jill Stein, speaking of her, that she got very close, but she couldn't make it.
She had 659,000 votes. Yeah. And I'm sorry, who were the idiots that voted for Robert?
That's the funny thing. He explicitly said repeatedly, "Do not vote for me. Do not vote for me."
637,000 idiots did.
I actually dropped out. Do not vote for me. Vote for Donald Trump. Vote for Donald. Do not vote for me. And people go and vote for him. It's kind of funny.
Who was the other one? There was another one on there. Go down. It's like
Chase Oliver.
No, there was a couple on a couple different ballots. I think it's like Dela Cruz or something. Maybe it was someone else, and she's like literally CCP related, like from the Singham group. So we had CCP people on here. We had, Hamas lover Jill Stein, whoever Chase Oliver is.
Mm-hmm. He's from the Libertarian Party. But anyway, maybe next year, maybe next election, Jill Stein will win and become president. Inshallah.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Sankey breaking. Kamala Harris wins California 58-40. The results come after popular California pastor Mike Winger endorsed Donald Trump. Suzanne Morales, what changed your mind about voting for Trump? I guess you made the super chat before I clarified it, but basically, Suzanne, I know you were kind of angered with me, Suzanne, when I said that I'm not going to vote for him and I think he's a coward and an idiot and so on. However, what ultimately did change my mind was what he stands for in this election, what the other side stands for, especially the fact that he is going against those Democrats who have become a cancer, who have been taken over by this whole woke progressivist attitude of bending over and being ridiculously stupid and being just another Western nation that is just like Europe, that just wants to say, oh, let's just allow these, all these people around us to come in here and do to us whatever they want. How bad could it be? And then going around and burning American flags, burning Israel flags, supporting Islamic terrorists, and so on. If the guy stands against that, I'm going to support him. I have to put my own preferences and my own principles aside for a second here. That's why I decided to vote for Donald Trump.
Listen, a lot of these people, I'm sure, haven't been at these protests, and they're just as bad as you see on your TV screen. I've been there. I've been to them all over the country. I was in New York City during the Trump trial. And we went, first off, I saw that man right after he burned himself on fire. So I was there and I got to smell all that. And then we decided it would be a great idea. We went over to Wall Street and we went to Columbia and we did that all week long. So I was in front of Columbia. I got called the K word, which is kind of like the N word, but for Jews. A white supremacist or a, how do I say this on YouTube? A dumb bee, a dumb white bee, the K word, and a Nazi. And I go, I can't be all three, so please choose one. And then, and then we're walking down, and I'm getting whacked in the face with Hezbollah flags. This lady that calls herself Crackhead Barney. I don't know if you know who she is. You have to look her up. It's completely comical. Okay, so you know who she is. Yeah. She's screaming at us, telling us like all these things, like, you know, I love Hamas, like kill the babies, kill yourself, like whatever. And I'm getting whacked in the head with a Hezbollah flag. It's absolutely insane. You do sort of feel terrified because they're in your face, they're banging the drums, they're violent, and I'm standing there like this with my camera just recording. I'm not even in like a Zionist shirt. I'm just being myself. It's terrifying. And these are the things that like everyday average Americans had to deal with, and we're all sick of it. So
well, I can see in your face that you're a Zionist, so
yeah,
that's why.
Is it the nose?
Speaking of California, so yes, 58% Kamala Harris. It is interesting though to see that Donald Trump has 39.8% of the votes, 4.2 million votes. You know, often people speak of California and make it sound and look worse than it actually is.
Go to Illinois. Let me show you something.
Illinois. Here. Wow.
I'm not seeing it on the screen.
You're not?
No, I'm seeing California.
Oh, here. This is Illinois now. I switched to Illinois.
Okay. So look at that. 500,000 votes.
Yeah.
There's a population of about 12 million. Roughly what, like let's say 5.5 million people voted, whatever. I'm not doing the math. 500,000 votes. You think that we couldn't have gone out there with 12 million people? I don't know how many are eligible, but you think that we couldn't have gone out there and changed that just a little bit more? It's Chicago. So it's not that Illinois is this like raging blue state.
On the contrary, look at that.
It's Chicago and the surrounding suburbs and a few pockets. And the rest is not.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. That's funny. That is funny.
A lot closer than California.
Let's go back to California here.
But they do. It's like all of that is red, and then they've got the pockets of all the blue. Well, I guess that's where their Chicago is.
Mm-hmm. Funny stuff. Good stuff. Not a fan of Trump, but got to hand it to the guy. There were no wars during his last presidency. Alhamdulillah. Hellenic boy, Trump needs to abolish his 22nd Amendment so we can have a Trump versus Obama showdown. What is the 22nd Amendment?
Isn't that you can only run for president twice? Is that like the Roosevelt one?
No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Yes. Yes, that would be funny. Saint Trump says, AP, my dear Turk, the best Turk, only Turk I trust. You have made a wonderful decision. We couldn't let cackle my win. Make Israel safe again. Thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. Trump. Jesse, AP, I'm happy you were able to dislodge the evil jinn from your nose before the election. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate that. It was a little bit hard, but I used the
shofar?
No, I use this here to wipe my nose, and it helps. So, yeah.
You know, unfortunately, I have a few of those. I must wear them. But as a good Jew, I got them for free.
Man. Mumu Joe, this is what Mayor Amir Ghalib said after he joined Trump. I will not regret my decision no matter what the outcome would be. Now let the caravan begin its journey. This is just the starting point. let's see what happens, inshallah. Shivam Rai, do Ashkenazi Jews in America have much interaction with Mizrahim? If so, what are their impressions? Do you know about this?
In New
Angel?
York, especially, yeah. I mean, we all get along now for the most part. I didn't really grow up in a very Jewish area, so I can't really speak to that. I can only speak to the people that I know. I feel like Chicago has a bunch of Ashkenaz. It's mostly like Russian in the areas that I hung out with, but there is a big Sephardic community in Mizrahi. So yeah, they do interact. But my experience is just so different. I didn't know about a lot of this until I was older.
Oh, yeah. W. Gert Willis needs to start deportations. Jews are far safer in UAE than Europe. What a joke.
Kind of true. Kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Anne Wyckoff, I too held my nose and voted for Trump. What do you think Gert Willis can do about how these poly-Nazis beating Jews? I'm not sure. We'll have to watch and see. I want to check the latest developments, by the way, very quickly. Fox News reports on it now. That's interesting.
That's big.
Let's see. Fox News has reported on it now.
Meanwhile, in the Great Lakes State and across the country, the Harris campaign blurring the lines of her
I
stance.
don't care about Harris campaign. Israeli soccer fans targeted in wave of violence in Amsterdam. Can you get this off my face? Maccabi Tel Aviv FC supporters were reportedly the target of violence in Amsterdam Thursday before and during the soccer team's match against Ajax. Videos posted on social media appear to show multiple fights in streets. Spanish media reported earlier in the week anti-Israel agitators would protest outside the stadium where the match was being played, targeting the club and its fans.
Okay, now you know why I haven't worked for mainstream media, because I can't believe they said that multiple fights broke out and it's anti-Israel and they won't say what's going on.
Yeah. We are receiving very disturbing reports of extreme violence against Israelis and Jews on the street of Holland. There is a pogrom currently taking place.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah. This is kind of funny. From Fox News. Yeah. That is their report so far. Israeli soccer fans. Assailants shouting "Free Palestine" brutally attack Israeli soccer fans in Amsterdam. Assailants free Palestine. Some horrifying just anti-Zionism in Amsterdam tonight. Okay, same videos that I saw before. Let's see what happens. Let's see how that continues. AP woke up. Yes, I did. We have had enough of left woke politics. We did indeed. Nancy, thank you, AP. I'm still not telling my family that I voted for him in my heart. I'm Canadian. Well, I voted for you. Caliph Donald. Hey, what's up, Caliph Donald? Inshallah, AP, thank you for your support in establishing the Islamic Caliphate of America. Remember to pay your jizya. There is no jizya for me. I'm an apostate. I will be killed, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, Angela would have to pay jizya.
I don't think I have a chance. I think
Yeah, you probably are also gone.
I think I'm pretty done for here.
Yeah, you're no chance. Sorry.
I mean, I'm already on their lists, so
They will kill both of us. It's fine.
okay.
Banana, the race was over as soon as Harris forsook the name of Jesus Christ. Alhamdulillah. Philip Daniel, the PFLP was funded by Nazi banker Francois Genois. Did he found it or did he fund? Oh, funded. Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he did. That's true. He did fund it. I know about that as well. Songs of Relief. Glad you mentioned Montiziaco. I haven't heard him in a couple of years. Aika. I know that he does some kind of. He started out with religious reggae, Jewish music, and then slowly changed and stuff. I don't know much about his music.
Yeah, he came back after 10/7. I think he's going back to more of his religious roots, but he came out with a few songs and he was doing tours everywhere. And some of those tours were boycotted because he's a Jew.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because he's a Zionist.
Yeah, you have to specify. You have to, obviously, if you go to, if you believe in Judaism, go to synagogue. congregation with Jews. If you practice Judaism, you are a Zionist, which means you're bad. So.
Fine.
And Wyckoff, what would happen if the U.S. thugs were KKK members breaking into black churches and threatening black people? Why aren't we calling it a hate crime? Because they're doing it for peace.
They're doing it because they love us. So
Yeah. Yeah. That one Jewish girl, how do I debate Shia and Ibadis? It's so difficult since all of my go-to hadith are Sunni only and encourage, and Quran is vague enough to explain away. I'm not sure where you have ever encountered Ibadis. I have never come across a single Ibadi Muslim. They're
I
from
don't even know what that is.
They're that's the funny thing. Most people are not aware, but so there are Sunni Muslims who are the vast majority, and then there are Shia Muslims. There's also a third group that is Ibadi Muslims who are basically primarily in Oman, who are not part of the Sunni Shia conflict, who went a third way, and most people don't know anything about them. Most people don't know they exist, but they are actually a different branch of Islam.
What do they argue about? Like, why did they go the third way?
I think their disagreement was again over. So the Sunni Shia split happened because of the whole continuation of the caliphate and all that, and I think the Ibadi position was something like that. I'm pretty sure I will misrepresent it if I summarize it now, but it was basically about taking neither side, but going with what I don't know. I'll explain it some other time. I studied that a long time ago. I usually don't care because it never comes up, but they just went a third way in terms of the succession of the caliphate. Ayatollah Khamenei just showed up and heard sex slave. That's what we do. Urinating broom. I'm worried for Ukraine, though. I wish Trump would change his mind on it and support Ukraine against Russia, which is also in the U.S.'s best interest. Yeah, I'm not sure what will happen with Ukraine. I also feel sad for Ukraine, but let's see what happens.
I'll tell you what I think most people's issues are about it. Giving all of the money and then not having a detailed list of where it's going, and then you just keep hearing on the news, we're giving more, we're giving more, we're giving more. So obviously the rhetoric around it is, well, we've got people at home who don't have money, and here we are sending blank checks. So I think if they were just more forthcoming about that and being like, hey, we're sending the money and this is what we're doing with it to help them out, and this is a good thing, I think that would change. But no one's doing that. So they're just allowing people to go get out of control and crazy. So I don't know.
Well, the thing is also that so America is not literally giving them actually money. Mostly, it's
right.
like,
but that's what I'm just saying. That's what they're hearing.
yeah. So that's I get that. That's what people perceive. So America sends aid that has a certain amount of value. So what people hear is that we gave so much money to Ukraine, and why are we still giving them money? And it's never really properly explained to the general public. And then, yeah, I see what you mean.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Wild stuff. I do feel bad for Ukraine. Hope there will be some compromises on what Trump was thinking in the past. I saw that Zelensky said that he had a very good call with Donald Trump. I don't know.
Let's hope. I don't like communists either. So.
Yeah. Well, Putin is a really, really bad guy. Putin is an expansionist, pretty bad guy, and yeah.
The Islamic beers, but I don't want to get poisoned to death. So.
This Islamic beer style without the mustache is absolutely triggering and it looks like crap. I know it's disgusting. It's kind of funny that Islam went for that, but just let him do it. It looks funny.
It's fine.
AP, are you going to interview Mossab? I am. It's just so hard to arrange. I have been messaging with him, and every single time I have to remind him and say, hey, waiting for a message. He's like, oh, yes, let's do this. Okay. Then I have to remind him again, and so on. But so it's a bit difficult, but we'll probably make it work within the next 2 months with Mossab Hassan Youssef, who has been great. Do you know him, Mossab Hassan Youssef?
Of course,
Yeah.
I want his book. I want the new one. Fascinating.
I know it was pretty insulting of me to ask you if you know him. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm just sitting here, like next to. I don't know if you can see this. I just books
Oh yeah.
and books. I know nothing.
Ayatollah Khamenei, brother, if you're gonna grow a beard, you can't neglect the upper lip. It looks like garbage. Look at the Kaiser as well. What a beard, what a mustache. I know I have to. Well, I'm thinking of going for a different style. I have a unique thing in mind. I'm thinking of
Red.
No, growing everything here and then eventually shaving all of this off and shaving this off too and leaving this part only. I kind of thought might go
Just-
for a new style.
Diet red.
Okay, we'll do that. Ayatollah Khamenei, we need a TV show called Kafir Eye for the Halal Guy, where I yell at Arabs about their unkempt, horrendous beards. Drew Traver, call me a conspiracy theorist, but what's up with all the Jewish money going to Muslim advocacy groups? The Levi Strauss Foundation gave over $500,000 to CARE.
Yeah, let's not talk about Levi, please. I'm so mad at them. He's not wrong. So there's a woman, God, I forget her name, but she's part of the family. And she's pretty rogue, and she gives money to CARE. She gives money to my buddy at USPCN. And they give a lot of money to people that would kill them.
That's what they do.
I wish Jews were a monolith and they were all on my page, but we're not.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Mark K. The Khmer Rouge kills 1.5 million Cambodians. Cambodian people move on. 1 million murdered in Rwanda. Rwandans move on. 8th century Hadith tells Muslims to kill Jews. Muslims can't move on. The problem is and will be Islam. This is the most Islamophobic thing I have read, and I love it. Hybrid striker. Trump needs to fix the economy first. Yeah. Destiny is about to ascend right now. Little bro is gonna blast off and head come to Cuck Planet. Men in Black, Will Smith style. He's been going crazy. I don't know what he's on about. Ayatollah Khamenei, peanut status avenged. Did you notice too that the morning after the elections, all the squirrels seemed especially energetic and happy,
Joyful?
and feisty, joyful. Yeah. I can't be the only person who noticed that. Ryan Kim, surprised she didn't threaten to eat the Trump supporters, given she looks like she has her own gravitational pull. Yeah, talking about the one woman who said that she will kill Trump supporters. Ayatollah Khamenei is so happy that the USA finally reflected our first black president, Donald John Tavius Trump. Yeah. That's pretty good. Where's Megan the Palestinian? Coming soon. Dilly, I have a link of an Australian senator quoting Cargetry in a hearing. Watch. What? I will have to look at that. We'll have to look at that. Can't play that right now, but we'll have to look at that later. I'll make a note of this. I'd vote for Shaky Booty. Shaky Booty is amazing, man. Shaky Booty is the best shake. Ayatollah Khamenei, Lil Jon singing from the window to the walls at the DNC was perhaps the most cringe event in human history. It's all downhill from here. Did that happen?
I did not see that one.
You said Nazi. Haj Rayan Al Ghazlani says shofar. So, I usually say that that the Palestinian Arab Grand Mufti of Jerusalem looks exactly like Ryan Gosling. And
Got it.
yeah, some people just took it further after that. Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, look at that. Let me put this on the screen. They look exactly the same. Look at this.
Yeah. I think I've seen that tweet. Did you get community noted?
Yes. This is funny because I made this thought it would be a good joke, and I thought to myself it would be funny if this got community noted. It would be my only post that would get community noted, and it happened. They actually gave me a community note.
Go to his real picture, I'm thinking of his real face. Well, not the one with Hitler, 'cause I don't want to see that one, but go to his real face.
Here.
That's
He's
his
still
real
good.
face.
Yeah,
It is kind of similar.
I know it is. That's what I mean. I just exaggerated it and made it look even more similar, but yeah, basically the same
It's like
person.
that, you know, that conspiracy theory. You've heard this, right? Where like they clone actors, or they give them like some juice that they drink, let's say, and they come back every generation, and they're like a famous person.
Yes, yes.
There
This
you
is
go.
true.
That was Ryan Gosling in 1920.
What? This was actually Ryan Gosling's grandfather.
No, it was Ryan Gosling.
Okay, fine. If you say so. AP's baby elephant shofar is truly the sound of freedom. This is a legitimate shofar. I don't know what you're talking about. Can't do it. The funny thing is, I was practicing the other day and I actually managed to make a proper sound of it, but then I never figured it out how to do it again. Funny how LGBT people pretend needing a safe space from Trump after marching with keffiyeh wearing psychopaths that want to throw them off the rooftop. That is a funny point.
That's homophobic.
And racist. Godlike Snake, which old school rapper do you like, Angela?
I don't know anymore because everybody is complicit. So let's just not.
Christopher
I
C.
don't know what to think anymore. P. Diddy ruined my life.
Jesus is the King of the Kings. Repent and believe, said Christopher C. Christian Gadfly said apostate prophet is Ali Dawa. This is true. I'm the same person. Christopher C. Blink twice if you're being abused, AP. Jacob, and I am concerned Tucker Carlson and other anti-Semites have too much influence over Trump. Carlson is pro-Iran and anti-Israel.
That's a good point.
Tucker Carlson is a big problem.
Do you know who bought his company after October 7th?
Tell me.
Omar Malik.
Who is connected to?
I think he's Iranian and Pakistani Muslim.
Well.
And after October 7th, I think it was like October 20th or 10th. I can't remember the exact dates. He bought his company, and then all of a sudden, Tucker's like anti-Israel.
Yeah, anti-Israel, bordering on anti-Jew, inviting people on to basically talk about how Hitler wasn't the worst guy in World War II and so on.
Wonder why. No, it is. It's a major problem.
The RFP 333 said, Fem David is funny. I know the real David is not funny at all. He's too serious. I'm glad to have Angela here. We do have a lease. Angela, by the way, is the name that David adopted after he transitioned and started identifying as a woman. So, yeah. Goat, we do have a lease in our record for when Ali graped Dawa for one large booty goat for an afternoon. So I think his wife is on us. Oops. Ida Rogozin, did you see what is going on in Amsterdam now? I see it and I follow it. Ahmadiyya, wow, David Wood looks incredible tonight. Ayatollah Khamenei, we are serving fresh barbecue all week at Bushnell's. Bushnell's, we cook it fresh. This is pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. I love it. Robert Aldani, why are Russians so anti-Jewish? I feel like this bleeds into Putin and Iran relationship.
They've been anti-Jew a little bit longer than that, no?
Yeah, and there's a history to it.
I think my grandparents escaped after the 1890 pogroms or something.
Yeah, that was around the time that the greatest pogroms happened, which were pretty messed up, which also inspired the movie Fiddler on the Roof. That's all I can think about now. And then the Soviet Revolution, the communist Bolshevik Revolution, changed things, and then in that time it began again.
Well, you know, according to Candace Owens, it's really the Frankists and the Jews. So
Yeah, the Frankists were persecuting the Jews too. Yeah,
she's my favorite.
it was probably that Joseph Stalin was he really didn't like Jews. He had a big problem with Jews. This probably means that Stalin was a Frankist Jew.
Right.
The thing is, I predicted that Candace Owens will probably backpedal and will start, no longer going into the whole anti-Israel, anti-Jewish direction. With now that Donald Trump is president again, and what do you think?
Maybe. Well, she's a grifter. We'll see. I mean, we've watched her go from this position to that position, and then it was the Jews, and next it won't be the Jews. We'll see. Whatever. That's my prediction. Whatever.
I thought she might do this whole thing of like, I was fooled by the media. The media has been pushing the anti-Israel thing, and the media has turned me anti-Israel. But now I have changed my mind. I've seen the light. I don't know. She does whatever she does. She's a ridiculously horrible person. Victor Levitt, what do you guys make of the Trump supporters who voted since he will bring peace and make a deal with Iran? A lot of them think this way. What do you think?
I don't know. Okay, let's be honest here. Even if he does make peace, right, that means Iran is weak. So they'll just wait until they're not. But I do think that he has the capacity to make them so weak that that won't happen for a long time.
Yeah, he was very hard on Iran when he was president.
Sanctions, getting rid of money,
Yeah.
which
He
is what
he had this whole event when he went to what was that? When he went to Saudi Arabia and gathered with the Arab world and spoke to them. When he spoke to them, he directly said, we all know that there is like one problem, that there is one bad guy here, and that is Iran. So he was making it very clear that the world has to take care of the Iran problem,
right,
of the Islamic regime of Iran. So I really wonder how things will unfold now this time.
Listen, it could be, we could see some peace for some time because they are that weak. It doesn't mean that once there is peace, we can just stop what we're doing.
Yeah. Morona Holmes said couldn't vote for Kamala. She violated the 25th Amendment. Bonus, a cackle-free America. Yeah. Victor Levitt, Angela, thoughts on Nick Fuentes?
Should I tell you how I met Nick Fuentes?
Oh, you probably have. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I posted that. It went viral. So I was at a political event and I saw him, and my husband was standing next to me, and I kind of looked at him and I'm like, hey, do you have bail money? And he's like, what? And I'm like, do you see Nick Fuentes over there? And he's like, yeah. And I go, okay. And later on, again, I was at a political event. So the person's event, who it was, came up to me and she's like, be nice, don't say anything. I don't know why people always tell me to be nice and not say anything. And they're like, just be nice to him. And I'm like, I don't want to be nice to him. So I'm ignoring the situation. I'm moseying around and I'm minding my own business. And then all of a sudden I walk up and the person goes, hey, Angela, have you met Nick? And I'm like, I'm standing there. I'm like, oh my God. And he goes out and he reaches out his hand and he's like, hi, I'm Nick. Nice to meet you. And I grab him by the hand and I look him straight in the eyes, right? And I'm like giving him the death stare. And I go, shalom. And that is all I said. And like everyone around him, I'm talking like all of the normal gripers that you see him with, are like, ooh, shots fired. And like, I'm just looking at him and he's looking at me and I'm like, you know, like, you're going to make a move, like what's going on? And I grab him a little bit harder and he's staring at my Star of David, which is different when he's a little bigger than this. And I walk away. I hate Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is a loser. Nick Fuentes knows, I think, that he's a loser. He's about 5'6". I think he's gay. We also watched him that same night. He had his little redheaded friend, his little Groiper buddy, and he's like, the Groiper buddy's standing there like caressing his back for an ordinary amount of time. And like, my husband, he like looks at me, and I look at him, and he's like, "What's going on there?" And he's like, "Is he gay?" And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, I should have filmed this. I should have filmed this. Again, I don't care if people are gay, but like Nick Fuentes is a raging homophobic monster. So it's just funny. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, and I said it before, but people who have this whole thing, this big obsession with that kind of stuff, happen to often have a little bit of a gay problem.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear. He's pretty gay.
It's unfortunate, but like that doesn't mean that I'm going to forgive them for their attitudes. And he hates gays. He hates everybody. Well, he hates everybody. I think I heard rumors that he was picked on in high school, so maybe that's why he acts the way he does. I don't know, but he's a loser.
He is a big loser. Big loser. Big loser. Let's not forget that he actually streamed gay porn on his website, on his stream at one time.
Facts.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. Trump is smart. You can't isolate Iran if you're enemies with Russia. You can't start wars on multiple fronts, especially with a nuclear nation. Mumu Joe, not to be picky, but feel you guys if or is my comment. What? She takes about Muslim getting into them and rep party. The Muslim mayor said they are not hiding their goal. Not to be picky. Yeah, what? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the Muslim mayor said, see prior comment. I don't know what the prior comment was. They are not hiding their goal. They've never hidden their goal. I don't think I said that they were hiding. I said that some go unnoticeable. So there are the obvious ones that are screaming in your face, and then other ones who are still following said goal, but may not be in the public eye.
Wait, what is this?
But I don't know what the prior comment is.
I'm looking up. I was just looking up Nick Fuentes, and I saw this thing that has like 200,000 likes. What is this?
The feel when you're totally not pressed. The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling. We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice.
Okay, listen, I'm religious, so I'm really not for abortions. There are exceptions, whatever. We can get into that. But he almost makes me want to just go out and get one. Who pays him to say this stuff?
Wow, man. I know.
But like, who pays him to say like?
I have so many things going through my mind right now the entire time that I have watched this guy speak, and I just don't want to say anything. So.
Oh, okay. So Juice, we crack jokes when we see something horrible or we see something funny. We blurt out jokes. That was my joke about it. He's something else. And you know what? I got in a lot of trouble with the Groipers online because it was like 8 months ago. I saw him basically going towards Kamala, and everyone's like, no, you're lying, you're attacking Nick, like he's pro-Trump, and I'm like, he's gonna vote Kamala. 6 months after that, he comes out and he's like, I'm not voting for Trump. You know, I'm going to be pro Kamala, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 days ago, after saying he was pro Kamala, Trump wins and he goes, yeah, we did it, man.
We did it. This is what he actually said. He literally said, we did it. Yeah. He said that. He said, we did it. He actually took credit.
He took credit.
He was explicitly telling people not to vote for Donald Trump.
Yep.
Not to go and vote for Donald Trump. In fact, he was saying, not sure if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, but pretty sure he even explicitly told people, yeah, go and vote for Kamala. Go vote for Kamala.
I don't know if he said that, but he 100% told them not to vote for Trump. And, you know, he started the Graper War 2.0. And if Trump and the campaign didn't listen to Nicholas J. Fuentes, like, there was going to be hell to pay, and he was going to put people in different districts and have them vote for Kamala and vote the other way. So yeah, he did. But like, why are people listening to this guy?
This is so funny. I mean, you have his tweet right here. Live on Rumble talking about the election and my final case for why I am not voting for Trump, November 4th.
Right.
Why I'm not voting for that. You have him say it right here. And then here he comes, November 6th. Can't believe we did it again.
What's the community note say?
Nick Flynn has stated publicly and repeatedly that he would not vote for Donald Trump and encouraged his Groyper Army followers to not vote for Trump either.
Yep.
And so on.
He did it. It was all him. All 5'6" of him.
Yeah. Yeah. He even said, wait a minute. I don't know, whatever, I don't care. Michael Feldman, the Japanese had their cities made of paper firebombed, then they took 2 atom bombs, then a nasty occupation, yet they didn't cry and rebuild. That very, very wrong. Obviously, you see Japanese people going around everywhere saying, free, free, Hiroshima, we will take revenge, and so on. Seriously, take an example from cultures that actually do something. You have, I'm sorry to say this, but all cultures are not the same. Obviously not the same. Some are much better than others. Some cultures just do not produce things, don't create things, which is why the Jews that decided to establish or rebuild and reestablish their homeland turned a barren.
Completely opposite way there. That's why I started. I thought you were gonna. Funny. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no. The Jews turned a barren, disease-ridden, horrible place into a wonderful place, into an amazing place, and created one of the most developed nations in the world that is at the top of contributing to so many fields of science and research and so on. On the other hand, you have those people who claim that they are indigenous and that it all belongs to them. They haven't produced a single thing. They have created nothing except death and destruction so far. And all they do to this day is still hoping and aiming for death and destruction because they are jealous, because they don't produce anything. There's a great contrast here between a culture that builds and preserves life and a culture that destroys and is obsessed with death. That's what you get. I know that was pretty racist. Grauen Ritter said, quiz for Palestine is out, trends for Hamas is in. Inshallah. Crafted Garga, there was some anti-Israel propaganda on Joe Rogan today. I don't even want to know. Grumpy Granny, David Angela. David/Angela. Can I get the name of your plastic surgeon?
I have a dentist. I just put Invisalign in.
That's how you look like this now suddenly, because
yeah,
you look like a man.
Actually, they told me to fix my ugly butt teeth, but they used another word. So I told them it's $5,000 to start donating. but I've never had. My mouth feels a little weird.
So just by that, now you suddenly look like a woman, although you looked like you were a man just a few days ago.
Yeah. And we've got plastic surgery, and
Yeah. Pretty interesting. Cam, one thing we as Republicans and Democrats agree on is that we hate Nick. Nick can bring the country together. Hating him, inshallah.
There you go.
Inshallah. AP mind asking Angela to change the weather in New York a bit. It's too damn cold. I heard Jews control the weather with their kippas.
Well, then you'd be asking a man because women don't wear kippahs. No, but yeah, I'll get right on that. And
Unless you go to a reform synagogue.
don't get me started.
Drew Traver, LOL, Nick Fritos wants men and women's sports. Inshallah. Should happen. The abortion Fuentes should have been.
There you go. See? I told you I wanted one now because of him. I do not want one.
Hey, Trump, do you like Nick? Trump, I'm pro-abortion now. Cam, I heard Trump say Nick is getting deported. That's what people tell me, says Candace Owens. LOL.
It comes from her.
Goat up, Angela, joke on Nick all you want, but leave us 5'6" guys. 5'6" guys. As a person who grew up in Europe, it's still very difficult for me to make sense of foot and inch. So
Let's do it the opposite way. I'll be a bumbling idiot. It's fine. I'm gonna respond to this. I'm 5'6" too, so I can say what I want. Thank you.
Oh, you have
I
the
really am 5'6" though.
you have the 5'6" pass.
Yeah.
All right. And that's that. Let's hope for all the best. Let's hope that the situation in Amsterdam stays contained and does not escalate. And if people make trouble, I hope that they are deported. Israeli PM is aware of very violent incidents against Israelis in Amsterdam, as assailants shouting "Free Palestine" brutally attack, and so on. Foreign Ministry says 10 Israelis hurt in Amsterdam assault, 2 unreachable.
So they're Israelis or are they Jews? Well, I mean, they could be both, but are they from Israel?
It says so. That's what it says. Foreign Ministry says 10 Israelis hurt in Amsterdam assault,
So there was
2 unreachable.
There was a soccer game, and obviously it's an Israeli soccer team. So were these people were visiting, and then because they were visiting, these jihadists decided to attack them?
Yeah. Netherlands is full of jihadists, and
Yeah, I know.
And if an Israeli football team goes and plays in the Netherlands, you will have people going over there and watching and rooting, and they got attacked.
There's no such thing as anti-Semitism.
No, totally. So it's all just anti-Zionism. They were attacked because they're Zionists. If you go to a synagogue and you pray and you leave and you get attacked, it's because you're a Zionist.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll be back again. I might be live tomorrow again. We will see. Let everyone know again where they can follow you and find you, Angela.
Okay. So you just find me on X, and yes, I keep it this way because the Jew haters, they get a kick out of it. But it's Ann Jew, like JEW La 90. So you can find me at Angela 90 on X, and maybe one day I'll listen to my uncle when he tells me it's not professional. But until then, they get a kick out of it when they got to type it in, and it really pushes their buttons. They got to type in the word Jew.
I think it's very good. Just keep it like that.
I think so too.
It is totally based.
It's very, very good. Yeah, might have you on again. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Would advise people to go and check out Angela on X. I also have a link to her profile in the description. From now on, there will be no more David Wood. From now on, it's Angela, who is the new David Wood.
We're taking over. Sorry, David.
That's what they do. The protocols of the elders of Zion were true all along. You see it right here.
There we go. I told you. I told you I was the leader. I dropped the hints all night long.
See, You see, that's what they do. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Have a fantastic day, and as always, where's my goat? I can't find my goat, but I will just play the English. Oh yeah, right here. As always, or also in English.
Stay away from Islam.